Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review and season of Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 1. Y'all better be glad I love y'all, okay? This episode was 3 hours long. Let me tell y'all something. As I was writing down those notes and it said 8:59, I was like, yay, it's over. And we continued. All I heard was, it's all or nothing. I want it to be nothing. Okay, I want it to be nothing. But we're here. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal, they're saying, we use science and technology and a little bit of this and a little bit of that to find these matches. Honey, you know how they do. The first couple we start with is Lindsay and Mark. Pastor Cal said, they are a natural match. They have high energy and they're caring. Okay. Mark is meeting up with his friends, right? So then he sits down with them and tells them that Dr. Viviana found him a match. And his name is Mr. Wicked Committed. And he's 37 years old. Mark, first of all, what are these names that you're giving yourself, honey? And second of all, 37. Child, was some math that wasn't mathing up and through this episode. But child, we're going to get into that as we get into it. So anywho, he said he tried 4 years ago. Child, I ain't found you nobody yet. Now listen, you mean to tell me you watched 4 years or 4 seasons worth of this show and you still trusted them? Oh, Mark, you were hard up, baby. You must be ready to be married at first sight. You must be. He said, if he's with you 6 to 8 months, then it's time to get a place. But when people find out that he's looking for something serious, they get scared. Yes, Mark, okay? You're ready to cohabitate after 6 months. I'm not moving in with anyone in 6 months. Okay. I haven't never seen you angry. I haven't seen you cry. I haven't seen you mad. I haven't seen how you, I don't know anything about you really at 6 months. So I'm not going to be putting my name on that lease, but thank you very much. He said he wants a woman to swim in the ocean and have baby sharks. Baby shark, doo 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 doo, baby shark, doo 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 doo. Listen, y'all, I have small children, honey. I have a small child. So when I heard this man say he wanted to swim in the ocean and have baby sharks, that is the first thing that came to my mind, honey. Judge somebody else, but don't judge me. Moving forward. He said he had a good home life growing up. He never used profanity. He was the good kid. He always did what he was told to do. He said his dad died of cancer and his grandmother is living with dementia and his mom can't take care of herself, so she's living in a facility. And I was like, oh, man. You know what? Mark is a big old teddy bear. He really seems like a decent guy. He seems like the guy less chosen. The ones that don't get picked for dodgeball first and the ones that the girls put in the friend zone. That will be Marky Mark. Moving forward. So his friends are asking him if his mom's going to be there, right? But he says she can't because he doesn't want her to get overwhelmed. But she's the first person he called when he got chosen. So his friends are concerned that the woman he marries may not be able to cope with all that he does for his mother. I hope that he gets paired with someone that's caring, okay? Because I would hate for somebody to mistreat Mark. He just seems like such a nice guy. Now, this is what I gather from the first episode. Now, honey, if it's anything like season 13, we are in for a roller coaster of a ride, up and down and down and up. Moving forward. 14 days until wedding day. Lindsay, 34. Honey, are we sure? Are you sure? Lindsay, you need to moisturize, child, honey, and stop drinking all that liquor. Lindsay is the wild card. Now listen, I like Lindsay, but she's a little much. She's an acquired taste, okay? She's not for everybody. She's either for somebody or for nobody at all. There's not an in-between with Lindsay. You're either going to like her or you're not going to like her. Now, so far, I think she's a pretty fun girl, but that may change as the season goes on. So, honey, let's continue to get into it. So they're sitting down on this bench and she's blowing bubbles, I guess, before she blows the smoke up their butts. And she reveals that she's getting married in 2 weeks. She describes herself as a wild card. She said her friends describe her as watching a storm. Child, we don't want no precipitation this season. Not one drop. Do you hear me? We had a hurricane last season, so we don't want it. Shout out to season 13. We don't want nothing, honey. We still waiting on FEMA. We're still waiting on our checks. So therefore, and thus and such, please keep your storm to yourself, honey. Hopefully it's a quiet storm. Moving forward. She said, she was engaged before and she was going to get married, but 5 days before he called off the wedding. Honey, I wonder why. And this just happened a year ago. All right, here we go again. Married at first sight. Here we go with these people not taking a beat before diving in. She says she's a natural caretaker. Okay, so that's a good part for Mark. Okay, he's going to have someone that's an actual caretaker. And she says she has a rocky relationship with her mom, but she's ready to have someone in her life. So I see she has cats. So I'm guessing that's why they were matched. Oh, the two of them have cats? Oh, that's a match. It's going to be feline combustion. Child, it's going to be a fool. Moving forward. Her dad describes her as someone who will kick the door down and kick your butt. Kick down your door and smack your chick. Shout out to Monica. He says she tends to react instead of respond. Okay, that is not good. And they keep describing her as a lot to handle. But as the episode went on and we got towards the end of the episode, I understand what he means by a lot to handle. Child, I hope she don't become too much to handle, because I can't handle this. And 3 hours worth of this every single Wednesday night? I don't think so. Moving forward. So Pastor Cal said she will appreciate Mark the shark because he will swim against the current. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. First of all, Pastor Cal, nice suit. That's just a side note, honey. Chicks is rolling in. But sir, please do not refer to this grown man as Mark the Shark. And then he said, I can't wait to see how it's going to go for Mr. and Mrs. Shark. Child, this is a mess. Oh, child, that was funny to me. Next up, Katina and Elijah. Now, child, listen. Elijah, not to be confused with Hakeem Elijah, it's not giving what's supposed to be gay. Okay, now last season I let some of them trick me, but this season I got my good eye on y'all, and y'all ain't fooling me. Katina is a very pretty girl, and Elijah is 29, and he's the ex-playboy. The haircut alone tells me all I need to know. Okay, it tells me all that I need to know. So they're having a cookout, and he tells them that he's getting married in 2 weeks. So his brother said that he's out of his mind. Well, brother, that is a prerequisite to apply. Like, he'll be fine. Like, he gonna be all right. He said in past relationships they didn't last because he would cheat. And to his professors, he was Elijah, but to the women, he was Isaac. All right, now, don't bring Isaac this way, Elijah, sir, because we don't want no Isaac, honey. We would like for you to be good to Katina. That's what we would like. You know you were an F-boy when you use your alter ego, honey, middle name or not, because he was saying that Isaac was his middle name. I already rolling my eyes at him, child. I rolled my eyes at Elijah so much, child, I thought they were going to get stuck. Moving forward. He said when he was 16 years old, his dad passed away and he didn't get to see him graduate. He was the only one that his dad didn't get to see him graduate, but he knows that if his dad was here, that, he would be proud of him. He's a self-proclaimed mama's boy, and he wants his wife to love him even a tenth of how much his mom does. He said he's done the work. He's taken a 2-year hiatus, and he's ready to open his heart to someone. You're 29 years old. Y'all not gonna start that. Okay, it's giving very much Zachary, honey. He was 28 years old when this whole thing started, and he was doing all that talking as well. Now, I'm just not buying it, honey. So they asked him if he's ready to let Isaac go. He said, yeah, I'm ready to let that phase of my life go. So they asked what kind of wife he wants. Now, this is where he lost me. So he said, I want a traditional wife, one that cooks every night. He doesn't want her cracking cans. Nobody wants to cook every night. Okay. Hello Fresh. Shout out to Hello Fresh. Nobody wants to sit around and slave over a stove all day, every day. Okay. So they were like, what if she can't cook? He was like, she's not a wife if she can't cook. He's like, yeah, that would be a deal breaker for me. Sir, you're giving me barefoot and pregnant. Nowadays, everybody is an IG chef, so I don't think you'll have a problem, but nobody is going to want to cook for you every single day. Child, last season, Michaela couldn't even boil water. So you might be doomed. Child, this is just crazy. He seems to have an antiquated way of thinking. On the one hand, he says that he wants a traditional wife, but as the review continues, you're going to see why that is some straight bullshit. Okay? This is going to be interesting. Moving forward. I'm a little concerned about him using aliases to date, though. This seems like he isn't ready to be in a marriage just yet. And if you're 29 and you took 2 years off and you were doing all what you were doing, getting into it as you got into it in your early 20s, you are definitely not ready to be someone's husband just because you sat down for 2 years. Child, it don't work like that. Then we meet Katina. Katina is 30 and she's so excited to tell her girls that she's getting married. So they meet for hookah and drinks, child. It's the hookah for me. I was like, what is this turning into? So then she tells them that she's getting married in 2 weeks. So she said, she's the life of the party. She parties from dusk till dawn and she's ready to Netflix and chill with her husband. She says she hasn't been in a relationship because she was with a cheater. And she found out about it a year later. So then she finds out that another man cheated as well. So you put her with a so-called reformed cheater, and she has been cheated on several times in the past, which is the reason why she's not in a relationship at the present moment. Okay, it's starting already. Let me just say this right here. This is just a side note. I'm speaking directly to y'all. This season, we are just going to kiki, have a few laughs. We are not invested. Okay, unless someone shows us that they're ready to fall in love, okay, that they're ready to love, shout out to OWN, then listen, I'm just going to take everything that's going on at face value. Child, y'all will not get me wrapped up again this season. Moving forward. She said her parents divorced when she was a baby and her dad is incarcerated and she never saw an example of love. So her friends are asking if she falls in love easily. She said, yeah, but I've been single for 3 years. But she did say she's going to try to go with the flow. Baby, Katina, now you're a beautiful girl, honey, but this 600% density wig is in for a rude awakening with Elijah. Moving forward. So she says she's afraid of cheating and he's known to be a cheater. So Pastor Cal said they are a match because they come from single parent homes and they want to create stability for their future children. Not they were matched because they grew up in a broken home. Honey, a lot of people face that. Who doesn't want their kids to have a 2-parent household? Oh, Pastor Cal, Noe and Steve. Steve is 38. He's Mr. Free Spirit, and he rolls up on the family for a little grub there at a restaurant. And the food was looking good, too. And that's just a side note. And he's worried about telling his family because his mom's nickname is Miss Worrywart. So he tells them that he's getting married in 2 weeks. So his family was very excited for him, right? They're very excited. He said he's adventurous, he's down for anything, and his job had a lot of layoffs, so he decided he didn't want to spend another winter in Boston, so he headed down south to Florida. He was mostly living out of his car. Listen to me. The last person to live out of their car was Chris, season 12. Don't start, Steve. Don't you start. Don't start. His family has a history of arranged marriages. His grandparents and his aunt and uncle, they were all, involved in arranged marriages, and his grandparents are still married to this day. So his mom said, he's always been a free spirit. And his mom just seemed so sweet. I was like, oh, mommy, she seemed sweet. And his brother said, so you just got done living out of a van. So what are you going to tell her you do for a living? Yes, brother, let's speak on it. Okay, let's speak our speech on that. He said, I'm going to say, I was in sales. I was a sales engineer and I just did some traveling, some self-growth work and some freelance work. And I'm going to make a plan to get back into my career. Okay, so basically, you ain't got no job, man. Shout out to Tommy Strong. Sir, you don't work. Okay, you're not working. And don't tell me what has been. Don't tell me what used to be. Tell me what's now. Honey, don't tell me what you used to do. You're going to need a job if you want to be with me. Honey, I just had to drop a little 16 bars for you. Like, no, you need to be working, sir. About to take on a full-on wife and ain't got not a piece of a job. I'm all for the free spirit of it all, but I'm sure she's not going to want to preserve her wedding dress in the back seat of your van or figure out if y'all gonna live in the front seat or the back seat. Sir, you need to have a job. So his sister said, I think she's gonna want him to have a job. Honey, and is moving forward. Noe is 33 and she's quietly noisy. So she meets her friends at a bar and she tells them that she's getting married in 2 weeks. She said that she's pretty quiet. Baby, Noe doing wig changes and dancing in the street. Okay, she might sleep in the car for one night. She might sleep in that car for one night, but don't make that no habit, Steve. Honey, I'm watching you. And she said, she met this man in Bulgaria, thought that they were madly in love, and they traveled the country, but it didn't work. So then she met a man in the UK, got flued out. They went to Mexico, but that didn't work. Girl, what in the 90-day fiance is going on here? Girl. She said her family were refugees and she was born in a refugee camp. She grew up in a one-bedroom apartment and she realized that they didn't have much growing up, but her parents withstood the test of time, honey. And they're still married and they're still together. And she wants someone that's going to make her feel safe. She wants the exact same love that her parents had. So her friends are asking why she chose this. And she says she's a risk taker and she believes in love and she wants her parents' love. And that's what she's going for. So Pastor Cal said, they're a match because they're both dreamers. Aren't we all, Pastor Cal? Aren't we all? 13 days until the wedding. Jasmina and Michael. Let me just say this. Jasmina is stunning. Both have large families and cultural ties. What does that mean? Okay. So her parents look really young and she's 29 years old and she's a beauty. And as they're sitting down to eat, she tells them that she's getting married in 2 weeks. She's called Miss No Nonsense. She says she has a habit of being with people with no emotional maturity. She's like, people ask me all the time why I'm single. And I'm like, it's them. It's not me. Oh, it's giving red flag. It's giving red flag, sis. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's perfect at all. Okay, I don't know why you would just say it's all them and it has nothing to do with me, because it's always two sides to a story. So of course you played a part in it. She said as far as her relationships are concerned, one wasn't ready and the other one had a baby behind her back. Baby, these men can be the pits. I swear to you. This just shows no matter how pretty you are, it's always a scumbag ready to waste your time. Child, get on my nerves. She says she's a child of 9, all girls and 1 boy. And although she's from a big family, some of her siblings she's never met. When she was young and she was 2 years old, her mom walked out on her sister and her. Then her dad remarried to her stepmom, who is there with her. And then they got divorced. He moved to Jamaica. So she asked her stepmother if she could take custody of her and her sister. And so she's there. What kind of mom leaves their babies? I don't want to judge because I don't know her circumstances, but why would you walk out on your babies? Like, I could never, as much as I just want to pull my hair out, I could never walk out on my baby. Child, I'm glad she has her mom, Kimberly, honey, because she seems to care for her, and that's very beautiful. That was a beautiful thing. So her mom and stepdad are making sure that she's ready, and her mom is worried because they don't know this man, and she's never lived with a guy before. So she's going to go from being single, doing what she wants, never living with a man, to marrying a complete stranger and moving in with him. And they're worried that she might get hurt. Well, honey, the last thing she needs is married at first sight after all she's gone through. I don't know. After these past 2 seasons, honey, I just don't trust it. I really just don't trust the process. Moving forward. Then we meet up with Michael. He's training for love. He's 28 years old, and he sits down with his sisters to tell them that he's getting married in 2 weeks. His sisters were so excited. Let me just say this before we continue. The best part of Michael for me was his sisters. They were everything. They were so sweet and kind and inviting. I just loved it. He feels like in order to get the life he wants, he has to take a risk. So that involves getting married at first sight. Said nobody ever. Not nobody. Nobody thinks that married at first sight will make their life better. Have you watched the show? Oh, okay. He's had a lot of tragedy as well. His dad, his brother, and his sister passed away. Oh, child, that's just so much tragedy and heartbreak for one person. That is heavy. Last season, they had some trauma. This season is all about the absentee or deceased parents or the parents who are uninvolved. It's too much. It is too. We don't need a theme. Okay, Married at First Sight, we don't need a theme. Honey, let people be normal, regular people, and you don't have to find a group of people who all have a common thread. Like, no one wants to see so much tragedy. So his sisters were talking. They were very happy for him. And his sister Claire, she was so sweet. She was like, well, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to be once he's with his wife. And, I'm calling him to hang out and he can't because he's with his wife. But it's okay because we're going to love her and we're going to accept her. And I thought that was so good because that's going to be good for a person like Jasmina, because she needs family. She needs people to rally around her, especially after everything she's went through. So I like that. Okay, Claire, I like it. Moving forward. So then he calls his brother to tell him, and the brother was like, do you think you're ready for that? I'm like, come on, brother, with a word. He said that Michael is going to have to learn to compromise. He said, compromising is something that's new to me. Well, marriage will be too. Honey, it's all about compromise. I don't know about Michael. He was giving me gloom and doom throughout the episode. But we're going to get into that as we get into it. Pastor Cal said that they were matched because they're both successful people and strive for long-lasting marriage. Who strives for a short, disastrous marriage? Oh, Pastor Cal. Oh, child. Moving forward. Next couple up is Alyssa and Chris. Chris is 35, Mr. Monogamy. He tricked his mommy into thinking that they were going to be filming for a real estate show, but he's there to tell her that he's getting married in 2 weeks. So they sit down. She's looking directly at the camera. So I'm like, Mom, okay, I know you think you're filming for a show, but never look into the camera. Girl is giving very much, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Director. Baby, Mom is ready. So he's like, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. She said, to who? He said, I don't know. She said, are you crazy? I think just a little. I think you have to be in order to sign up. I think that's what they have you check off. Are you a little bit nuts? If so, then you're a shoo-in. Moving forward. He says he plays a lot of disc golf. Now, I have never in my life heard of disc golf. I didn't know what he was talking about. He said it's where you throw frisbees in the woods. Okay, so we have a man living in the woods in his car and a man that plays with frisbees in the woods. Got it. He realizes he's been single because he looks at looks only, and down the road, he realizes he's wasted 5 or more years. So his mom is a little bit nervous about that, being that this is the first time of him meeting the woman. Honey, everybody's parents are nervous because, you're getting married to a total stranger. And she's like, well, what will happen if she, if you don't think she's what you want? Or, what have I done when you get to the altar? What if she says that? He said, good question. She said, I know. So then we go on over to Alyssa. She's 30, looking for her forever home. She meets with her mom and her friends, and she's like, so what are you doing in 2 weeks? She's asking the table. So her friend was like, it's my birthday. She said, oh, girl, not oh. Girl, you didn't remember your friend's birthday? She's like, well, what are you doing? She said, well, I'm getting married. So obviously, honey, I don't know if you're going to be there or not. I don't know if you're going to celebrate your birthday at the wedding of it all and then get you a slice of cake at the reception. But, as far as this goes, honey, it's going to be happening around the same time. So I don't know what you're going to do. Alyssa is very pretty as well. And she says she loves all things country. And when people look at her because of the way she looks, they wouldn't think that she would love country. And as I was watching her, y'all know what? I think that she probably would have been what Ryan was looking for last season. Alyssa and Ryan might be a match if things don't work out. Shout out to Ryan, season 13. She says she's the only single person in her friend group and she's ready for a relationship. She was in a relationship for a year and then they went to look for rings and then she got a call and he said, don't make dinner, it's over. I say, what now? Not him breaking up with you as you finish up the salmon. Baby. And I thought I had some disastrous, I do have some disastrous love stories, child, but this right here, not I'm gonna break up with you before I get home. This is a mess. Just looking at her and Chris are not a match. They're not. They're not going to be a match. And I don't think Jasmina and Michael are going to be a match. And I don't think Mark and Lindsay will be a match. Honey, I just don't know. So her mom feels like it's meant to be. And, she's like, what if he doesn't like dogs? He will, child. He plays with frisbees in the woods. She gonna be fine. 10 days until the wedding. All the ladies and the men get together to meet for the first time. And honey, I'm not feeling these men. I'm just not feeling them. I'm just not feeling it, honey. It's giving nothing. So Mark is telling them how he applied and how he applied before. Mark is giving, I want to be on TV. Please stop repeating that, okay? You applied before, you didn't make it, you came back, you tried again, and now you are in the running to be married at first sight. Please do not repeat that. So the ladies are getting to know each other as well. And they're talking about, why they decided to come on the show. And Lindsay said that she gave them free reign to choose whoever for her, as long as there was no belly and no baby teeth. I feel you on that, Lindsay. I feel you on that, honey. That gum to teeth ratio, it's very important, honey. And I don't care what y'all say. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. So Elijah is on the other side and he's like, well, for me, she has to be attractive. I mean, would you go up to a person that you weren't attracted to? See, Elijah might be the Chris of this season. That's what he giving me. Meanwhile, Katina, who is his bride-to-be, who is beautiful, by the way, she's over there giving a totally different story. He seems like he would go for Jasmina and her type. Like, he might need someone like Jasmina, though, because she's Miss No Nonsense and she ain't going to be about the games. And I don't like the fact that they gave him to Katina after he's a reformed cheater, but I'm really not buying the reformed part of it all. Okay? I don't want that girl to have to go through that again. Let me tell you something, Elijah/Isaac. Get in here, sit down, and don't start nothing. Treat her the way you would want your mom to be treated. Okay? I'm going to throw your mama in there so that you know how to treat this woman. Moving forward. I don't think his player ways are over, honey. I'm just saying. I see red flags all up and through. So Lindsay is on the other side and they're talking about parents and she starts to cry because her mom isn't kind to her and she wants her mom to be at the wedding, but her mom's not going to be there. So Jasmina was like, listen, don't be envious of other people's relationships. I don't have a relationship with my mom. It's my stepmom. And I'm grateful for her. And she's like, yeah, that's the family that you chose. And I really did feel bad for Lindsay because it's nothing like the love of a mom, of a parent in general. And for your mom to basically just be like, girl, whatever, I gave birth to you, but you're just another person to me. That's got to be hurtful. Over on the other side, Mark is asking why they decided to get married at first sight. So Elijah wasn't going to say, well, I have no problem finding a woman. He's like, my friends call me the Facebook crook. That's not cute. That's not funny, Mr. T. You and your little haircut. It's not funny at all. He said, I feel like the people that I meet on Facebook, they catfish me. Like they look like their picture, but their personality offline is not the same. And in the past, I haven't been honest. Well, you should have led with that. Okay. In the past, I have not been honest, which is probably why they don't act like they acted online. Because you don't act like you acted online, which is faithful. Moving forward. He's like, in college, I had different names. I mean, you can't get caught if you have different identities. Absolutely not. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, he gonna be a problem. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but for right now, I'm not feeling Isaac. Honey, I'm gonna call him Isaac until he shows me Elijah. I said what I said and I'm not changing it. Moving forward. So then on the other side, we see Katina saying she always dates men with girlfriends. Then she finds their Facebook and they have a girlfriend of like 9 years. Well, honey, you better ask Elijah for his password because he's the Facebook crook. Elijah is on the other side and he's like, this is the most effort I've ever put in. You've literally done nothing. Nothing. So marrying a stranger is the most effort that you've ever put in. That's all you got? Okay. Moving forward. Back with the ladies, Alyssa is telling her story of Mr. Don't Make Me Dinner. He came in, bust through the door and told her, no, stop the shrimp scampi. I don't want to be together anymore. I'm like, Alyssa, did he call you on the phone or did he come in the house and tell you he didn't want to be with you? Child, which one is it, honey? The story was changing and whatnot. And then we see Chris on the other side and he's talking about all of his several relationships and how he's been in relationships for years. I guess that's why he's Mr. Monogamy. He's in relationships for 1, 2, 4, 5 years. So Mark is putting on a show, honey, because this is his moment. And he's like, I can't do years. I mean, after 6 to 8 months, I'm like, we need to get a place together. That is your problem, Mr. Fools Rush In. Clearly that did not work. No one wants to move in with you after 2 days. Slow down, low down. Like, where's the fire? So then they asked Michael. He said he's on the opposite end of the spectrum. He always finds fault. And it's giving Zach. Okay, because y'all remember when Zach was sitting there when all the men got together and he said he always finds fault? The same with Johnny. Don't start that, Michael. Do not start that. Mark said, I'm interested to see what it's going to be like and what he's going to pick apart. He better not pick apart nothing. I hope he does not berate Jasmina. I hope not. Like, I'm not in the mood to sit through 16 weeks of someone putting another person down. I'm not in the mood for it. Lifetime, I'm speaking directly to you. Michael, don't play. Just because you lift weights, that don't mean you a catch. Okay, Michael? Just so we're clear. Moving forward. So Jasmina is over there with the women and she says she always dates emotionally unavailable men. She says she's the woman before they settle down. So she preps them and then the next woman gets the new and improved version. Child, I've been there before. Lindsay is like, as far as Jasmina is concerned, this is what she's saying in her little interview. She's stunning. I think her husband is going to be so happy and have no qualms about it when he sees her. Well, no. I mean, she's beautiful. So, of course, when someone sees her, they're going to be like, wow, she's beautiful. But it's all about their personalities and how they're going to mesh together. And I thought she was going to say, I'd date her. Because she was like, Jasmina is gorgeous. So I'm like, okay, girl, calm down, honey. I like Lindsay, though. She a fun time. She had me at baby teeth, okay? When she said baby teeth, I hollered. So then the ladies are talking about if they're going to consummate the marriage. And Katina said, who do you think will be first? So Lindsay was like, I think Noy's going to be first. Well, hopefully it's before they move in together. Otherwise, it's going to be standing up in her apartment or in the back seat of his car, honey. Either way, it's going to be uncomfortable. Moving forward. The men are talking about consummating the marriage as well. And Mark said, if she's his type. Easy there, buddy. Easy, okay? Elijah once said, knocking the boots is all that I've been doing. So, I'm not interested in anything sexual right now. I'll call BS, okay? When he sees Katina, his motor is going to be running. Steve is like, well, I'm in no rush. I mean, I'm not in any rush to get intimate. Of course, honey, you need to get a home and a bed first. Child. 9 days until the wedding. Mark and Lindsay. Mark goes to look for his tux, and she goes to look for her dress. They're at this bridal shop, and the bridal shop was beautiful. So Lindsay is like, I really don't care about the color of the dress. It's not about that. It's about how you make me feel. The same with the men. I really don't care about that. Oh, yeah, honey. Lindsay is something else, child. She was just there last year looking for a dress for what happened to the dress you chose for the other wedding? Just put that one on and dust it off and take it on down the aisle, child, because we don't know if this is going to work or not. Honey, this is a whole fool. You are not over that ex. It's only been a year. And that year we were in quarantine. You are not ready. You're just not ready. Child, I can see this from a mile away. Now, I'm hoping the best for her and Mark because Mark does something to me. He tugs at my heartstrings a little bit. I don't know what it is about him, but he seems so endearing. And I hope that quality isn't short-lived because you know how they do, child. They show us something on the first episode and it's totally different as the season progresses. So I'm hoping that they can keep this up. So she comes out in her first dress. It was simple, but it seemed matronly. So it wasn't for me, honey. I wasn't feeling it. And Mark is on the other side trying on his green tux. It's giving very much Lucky Leprechaun, honey, but it didn't fit. So side note. Mark, your eyes are gorgeous. They're gorgeous, honey, and they popping. Baby, them eyes were so bucked. Mark looked like he was in a permanent state of shock. Child, this is a fool. Back over with Lindsay. She comes out in the second dress. It wasn't very flattering. The friends are saying they need to warn the husband. He's going to have to be patient with Lindsay. They're like, oh, I hope he has big balls. As soon as they said big balls, her dad walks up. The third dress she tries on, it was very pretty. And I feel like that one was made for her. Now, the top, the bust part, I feel like they could have altered it a little bit. But she chose the third dress. Moving forward. Mark is at the tux shop. He comes out in this navy tux. And he cleans up nice. I was like, okay, Mark. Looking handsome. I like it. Meanwhile, Lindsay is over there hanging out in her dress. I'm like, girl, if you don't take that dress off before it gets gross. She's sitting all down on the floor talking about, I hope he like me. I hope I like him. Oh, child, it's going to be a mess. Moving forward. So Mark tries on the second tux and he still looks nice, giving very much cake topper. Okay. Mark is handsome in his own way. He got a different look about him. He gives me Jersey Shore. That's what he gives me. Parties here. He gives me very much Jersey Shore. He was giving me Alvin and the Chipmunks at first, but now he's giving me Jersey Shore. I like MTS. Mark the Shark. Michael and Jasmina. So Michael has got a head on his shoulders, child. He goes in to look for his tux, and his friend said when he gets frustrated, he shuts down. That's going to be a problem, Michael. We're not going to be able to do that. We're going to need you to communicate. Okay? So Jasmina is looking for her dress, and her mom is like, I can't believe she's getting married. She said, you didn't have faith in me? She said, girl, I don't know now, honey. Your phone was kind of dry. Mama is a mess, honey. It's Sahara Desert over on this side, okay? Child, but I like it that way for now. Michael comes out in his burgundy tux. It's a no, child, but for his family and for him, they were impressed. And I was looking, I was like, how tall is Michael? Those pants were scrubbing the ground. Child, this... I don't know, honey. I don't know if it's going to work or not. But quite frankly, I don't know if Jasmina is going to be pleased. So then on the other side, Jasmina comes out of her first dress. And, I mean, it looked great. As she's trying on the dress, her mom starts to cry, and she's like, "Are you crying? I am not about to be shedding no tears, honey." Okay, Jasmina, baby, she is one tough cookie, because I know her mama show made me cry. I was like, it's okay. She getting married. It's all right. Child. So her mom's biggest fear is that the man doesn't want to be married. I like her mom. She's really special. She really is. It takes a special person to take care of a child that you did not birth. Her mom is very special. So to me, the first dress was beautiful, but the second one was simple with a hint of drama at the bottom, and she looked great in both, and she chose the second dress. Back over with Michael, he's talking to his sisters, and he's like, the day is going to be bittersweet for me because I envision mom and dad being here, and neither one of them are going to be there. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad that his parents aren't going to get to see it. 4 days until the wedding day. It's time for the Bachelor and Bachelorette parties, honey. Lindsay throwing them shots back, child. It's Virginia reincarnated. I'm like, Lindsay, slow down, honey. Like, come on now. Give your throat a rest. Give your throat a rest. Meanwhile, with the guys, Elijah won and all his red flags. They're giving a toast. Back over with the ladies, they're having a drag show, and Lindsay is having a ball. Meanwhile, Mark the Shark is over there saying, "I'm just so excited about my love story because I've never been kissed on New Year's Eve." Aw, poor Shark boy. He has never been kissed on New Year's Eve at 37 years old. Now, y'all know I adopt somebody every season. Last season, it was bow, 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 boom, 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 boom. And the season before that, it was Jacob. Honey, everybody knew not to mess with my Jacob. And this season, I feel like Mark is going to have my heart. Shout out to Mark. Now, Mark, don't let me down, honey. I don't want no foolery. This is the first episode. So for now, I'm Team Mark. But I'm hoping that things don't take a turn. So on the other side, Lindsay is over there saying she should have enjoyed the bartender that she met last night before she gets married. Girl, do you know this is being filmed? Child, not you want one last one-night stand. So then the Groupon stripper gets to the men's bachelorette party. I'm like, child, what is this? And Isaac, honey, because that's who he's going to be until he presents himself as Elijah one to me. He's over there resting his head on her little clappers. I'm like, oh, okay, honey. He gonna be a fool. He done took his shirt off and everything. She is the stripper. There's no need to strip for the stripper. Honey, it doesn't work that way. He the only one acting up for now. Now, why the men get the stripper and they got the drag queens? I was so confused by that. I'm like, what is going on here? Moving forward. Back over with the ladies, Katina is over there saying that she doesn't want to involve sex toys. She's not really that freaky. And her husband's going to probably be on the same page as her. While she's saying that, he on the other side talking about, I can't wait for my wife to go to the strip club with me. I want to be like, I dare you to go over there and smack her on her butt. Not the traditional wife. I swear to y'all, I cannot make this up. He wants the traditional wife to go to the strip club and smack a stripper on the gluteus maximus. Absolutely not. Oh, child, this is a mess. These two are going to be a fool, honey. He's not done playing in the streets, especially when he finds out she's not a freak in the sheets, honey. It's going to be a disaster. And he seems immature to me. Very much immature. I feel like he just decided to do something because he was in quarantine. And he was like, let me sign up for Married at First Sight. Sin, you've been chosen. Oh, my God. Child, he didn't mean to do that. He did not mean to do that. Now, I'm hoping I'm wrong again. But that is what it's given. Moving forward. Back over here with Lindsay, honey, she dancing with 4 shots in her hand, while Noe is sitting down talking about how she plans to talk all night long on the first night. Honey, and probably all night long on the second, third, and fourth night, if he don't find a place for y'all to stay. Moving forward. Meanwhile, Steve is talking about sex and like, what if it's awful? I really just want to build up the momentum. There's one couple every season that says this. I don't want to just rush into it. We'll see. Back over with the ladies, Jasmina said, the message that I would have for my husband is get ready for all of this because I'm going to be ready for all of that. Honey, I don't know if she's going to be attracted to Michael and ready for all of that or not. But child, we shall see. Moving forward. Back over here with Michael, he's over there like, I'm trying to stay positive, but I'm thinking about every single scenario, like what could go wrong and what could go right. Okay, sir, have some fun. It is your bachelor party. Have fun. So everybody is partying, and Lindsay is like in her little confessional. Honey, they doing this on purpose because they talk to Lindsay more than a little bit. Honey, Lindsay is not the only bride. Lindsay is like, I love 95% of the brides. Child, not 95. Lindsay said, it's 5% of them that I don't like, child. She's like, Jasmina is beautiful. Looks like Naomi Campbell. Honey, she love her some Jasmina. Noe is a wild card. Katina is all personality and she knows what she wants. She's like, is there a fifth bride? There's a fifth bride, right? Like, what's her name? Because she's been missing. Child, somebody get Lindsay a seat and some water, honey, and sober her up. So as Lindsay is naming all of the brides, she totally forgets Alyssa because she's been pulling a Mirla, shout out to Mirla, sitting over there in the corner, not engaging at all at the Bachelorette party. She's like, I'm just fine. I don't really had all these shots. I didn't want any of those shots. I just want to sit in this dark corner. I'm completely okay. Over on the other side, Chris is getting the most action, honey, he's probably seen in years, getting his little lap dance or his face dance because the stripper has her crotch all in his face. And I'm like, ew. Ugh, it was just a child. Okay. This is Lifetime, Miss Exotic Dancer. This is Lifetime. Okay? This is not Skinamax. Moving forward. One day until the wedding. Mark and his high expectations. They're playing basketball. Jasmina is sitting there with her friend talking about how her dad took the news. Michael goes to talk with his sister and he's telling her it's hard for him to be vulnerable. I haven't heard Michael be happy or positive since we were introduced to him. Michael, you're going to have to turn that frown upside down. At least until we get down the aisle. Like, give it a chance first. Like, gosh, ooh, what a bummer. Mark and Lindsay. In the next scene, we see Lindsay and she's boxing with her brother Philip and they sit down to talk and she says she's worried about not having any time to herself and getting frazzled. Well, honey, you better not be having no children no time soon, honey, because you're never going to get any time alone and you stay frazzled. Okay, they go to the restroom with you. They follow you everywhere you go. Okay, it's never a moment alone. Moving forward. She says she's embarrassed to tell her new husband about her family problems with her mom. With a guy like Mark, I don't think you should be embarrassed. He seems very caring and considerate and, he has some things that he has to work through as well. So I think you're going to be okay. It's the night before the wedding. The almost newlyweds are saying a few words. Elijah spewing out this BS about how he can't wait to smell and touch his wife. Honey, you were smelling and touching that stripper as well. Oh. He's like, I can't wait to touch her. Boy, gone. Lindsay says she can't wait to, snuggle up with the love of her life. Michael is running down all of his faults. What did I tell y'all? Nothing but negativity. Child, he is such a Debbie Downer. Jasmina is ready to cook and clean for someone. Child, don't let Isaac hear that, okay? Because he wants a traditional wife. Over on the other side, Mark is like, this is going to be the best day of my life. My life. Baby, Mark is so optimistic. I'm afraid for him. I really am afraid. Very, very afraid. Child, Steve is just happy they put him up in a hotel with a real bed before the night is over with. Moving forward, it is wedding day. And first up is Lindsay and Mark. She said, I'm comfortable. I've never met a stranger I didn't like. Honey, and a drink either from what we seeing. Mark is hopeful that they're both on the same page, so they go in to wake Lindsay up because it's time to get married, and child, she's still in bed. Meanwhile, Mark on the other side, fully dressed. Baby, Mark is ready to get into it as he get into it. Do y'all hear me? He said, I don't have any doubt that this will be a fairy tale. They said, I just have a feeling. So they were like, well, how are you feeling about it? He said, I'm feeling great. First time I'll have a date on a Saturday night. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking. Y'all see? Lindsay on the other side, she was like, I'm actually very excited. Child, in this heifer flashes the camera. I'm like, put your boobs away, ma'am. Honey, I don't think Married at First Sight has ever had to blur out nudity before. Child. So Lindsay is like, it's a big risk with a big reward. So the producer said, what's the reward? She was like, an emergency contact. Honey, I know that's real, honey. You finally can erase your mama and your daddy. Oh, child. But put them boobs away. Child, save something for Marky Mark. Back over with Mark, he calls his mom to tell her that he's getting married. He's like, Mom, I'm getting married in an hour. She's like, yeah, I'm beside myself. He's like, well, look at it like this. I'll have someone to spend my life with. She was like, yeah, if she stays. Oh, okay, honey. Okay. It's time for mom to go. It's time to let mom go. Bye, mommy dearest. Honey, bye. Child, goodbye. He said, my biggest fear is that the girl isn't going to like me. Oh, Mark, you're going to be okay. Moving forward. Lindsay is over here looking just like her daddy. She looks just like her dad. He comes in to give her a flower. Child, the flower was dead, but she was like, I'm going to put it in my bouquet. He said, the best advice I can give you is to think before you speak. And of course, she wished that her mom could be there. Her dad was like, well, don't worry about it. It's her loss, not yours. I know that's right, Daddy. Absolutely. So then the producer comes in and he's like, it's 20 minutes until you guys walk down the aisle. 20 minutes till MTS sees if Lindsay is DTM, down to marry. Moving forward. I love the change of scenery. I like that they did outside weddings. So Lindsay is in the Sprinter throwing them back. Child, slow down so you're coherent and you're upright. Child, she down in this champagne, honey, like it's lemonade. So Mark comes out to wait for his bride while she's back there picking up her bouquet off of the ground. I'm like, oh, child. She all over the place, chasing the liquor with Diet Coke. Get it together, Lindsay. Honey, it's giving Lindsay Lohan. It's giving Lindsay Lohan. I'm going to start calling you Lindsay Lohan, honey. This is just tacky. So she's walking through, pointing out. She's like, is that my cake? They're like, do you have your vows? She's like, there's somewhere in it. Please do not pull your top down again, Lindsay. Don't ask her about her vows, honey. Give it to somebody who can hold on to it. So she walking through, looking at the scenery. Oh my gosh, is that my cake? They're like, yep, keep going. Wedding up ahead. Girl, get down the aisle to MTS and his perfect brows. Moving forward. Everyone stands up for the bride, and here she comes. Dun, 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 dun. Honey, I'm glad she has her dad to hold her up, honey, because I don't think she'll be able to stand up straight. Lindsay's so drunk, child. These two start talking. She's like, hey, what's your last name? He's like, Mahar. She's like, oh, nice. How do you spell it? Lindsay, talk to him after the ceremony, sweetheart. Mark just sitting there grinning, honey, because he's so happy, child. So the officiant is like, you both have nice smiles, very nice teeth. She's like, oh, yeah, because that was a deal breaker for me. He was like, yeah, for me, too. She's like, let me see your smile. She was like, smile for me, daddy. Let me see your grill. Shout out to Nelly. So he smiles and you see a little ting. Honey, they comparing teeth and whatnot. She's like, Dad, thanks for the braces. Lindsay, pay attention. Child, this is a mess. So he reads what the family has to say about each one of them, and then Lindsay reads her vows. So then Mark starts reading his vows and names off all of the landmarks that he searched for her at, all while she talks in between each sentence. She's like, oh, I've never been over on that side. Oh, no, I'm on the north side. That's why. Oh, you wouldn't catch me at Pleasure Pier. Oh, I would never be over there. Be quiet. Shut it up, Lindsay. Shut it up. Be quiet, girl. So then the officiant says, by the power invested in me, I now pronounce you husband and Lindsay. You may kiss the bride. So then they lean in for a kiss, child. And he tried to put this ring on her finger, child, and it could not go down. I was like, okay, it took him 2 commercial breaks to get that ring on her finger. Honey, her knuckles probably swollen from all that alcohol and water retention. Lindsay, slow down on the alcohol. Slow down. So the officiant pronounces them husband and Lindsay. And as they walk away as husband and wife, Mark is like, yeah, this was really successful. She's just as excited as I am. So then they get back there, they start talking. Child, he knocks over the champagne. She's like, it's a sign. It's a sign we need to drink. Child, the champagne popped its own self open. I said, baby, the champagne ready to get on. I said, what am I watching? Oh, my goodness. So she was like, what do you do for a living? He's like, I work at the gym. And she said she does something. I forgot what she said. And so she asked what time he goes to bed. He said, I used to go at like 8 or 9, 8, 9 or 10. I changed the time that I go to bed so that I can wake up and go to the gym because I didn't want to do split shifts because I'm like, if I'm going to get a wife, I have to create a space for her because I know she's not going to want me to be working all late and I want to be home for her. Baby, Mark is serious about this. He is serious. This is the kind of consideration I want. Listen, if you splitting the shift, then we splitting up. I'm just playing. But I want that. That's what I'm talking about. That is considerate. Before even meeting her or knowing if it's even going to work or if he's even going to like her, he was optimistic about it. He made plans. See, this is what a man will do when he wants to really be married. Elijah 1. Ciao. So she's like, ooh, he giving me WAP. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay. She was like, a man that's willing to change his schedule for me and be home with his family? Girl, just shout out to Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. This is a mess. So Lindsay and Mark are talking about their visions for marriage, right? And Mark was like, I'm fine as long as she doesn't put me down for making less money than her. I'll stay home. I'll cook. I'll clean. I'll take care of the kids. She was like, yeah, I don't mind a stay-at-home dad as long as he doesn't expect me to work all day and then come home and do things. So they're talking back and forth and back. She spills her drink and he's like, ooh, we're in for a wild ride. Yes, honey, he can tell already he gonna need some extra sleep with Lindsay because she is on 10. So she's going on and on. She's like, I don't do dairy because I vomit. Don't baby talk me. Don't be like, oh, I love you. I don't like that. Well, honey, she would have made a perfect pair with Johnny from last season because Johnny didn't like Bao to even have joy. So they would have probably made a good pair. She's like, I get gassy. I'm like, okay, girl, okay, that's enough. Mark said, wow, she's got a lot of energy. Yes, she does, child. A lot of energy. She's like a toddler almost. Honey, it's a mess. So this girl is laid out on the bench, right? Poor Mark, he's walking around looking for her. Then he spots her and he sits down next to her and she's saying to herself, I want to be a cat when I die. Girl, what? Okay, I told y'all, we're just here for the entertainment. We are not invested. She's like, if you could be any animal, what would you be? He said a monkey. She was like, oh, I don't F with monkeys. I don't even like monkeys. Okay, girl, we got it. So then she asked if he had any pets. He said, are you allergic to any animals? She said, just the ones I have. He said, what do you have? She said, cats. He said, oh, I have 3 cats. She's like, no, really? No, you guys. And he's looking like, what? She goes, I love cats. Oh my God. She's like, oh my God, we can't have 5 cats though. I'm getting rid of mine. And scene. Whoo, child. Mark's whole life is probably flashing before his eyes. And that was the end of episode 1. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is going to be something else. Elijah made a comment that he didn't know if he had crossed paths with Katina before or if he's messed with someone that she knows. I'm like, dang, you getting around like that? And I'm also curious to see how things are going to go between Alyssa and Chris. Oh, child, this is going to be something else. Y'all stick with me for the duration of Married at First Sight. Of course, we're going to continue on with our lives. I will see you in the chat. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.